If you've ever spent a hot summer evening dragging a hose around your garden trying to make sure every plant gets enough water, you know how time-consuming watering can be. And the truth is, if you forget even once during a heat wave, your plants can start to suffer pretty quickly. But what if your garden could water itself? Today I'm going to show you how to install a simple drip irrigation system that will save you time, use less water, and keep your plants consistently hydrated, even during the hottest part of the summer. The best part is that you don't need any special skills to set this up. If you can connect a garden hose, then you can install drip irrigation. This is the exact type of system that I use in my garden because it waters plants right at the roots where they need it the most. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what supplies you need and how to set up a drip irrigation system step by step. So let's start with why drip irrigation is such a game changer for gardeners. The biggest reason is simple, because it saves an incredible amount of time. Another big benefit is that drip irrigation uses far less water than traditional watering methods. Drip irrigation can also prevent plant diseases. When you water from above with a sprinkler or a hose, the leaves get wet, which can encourage fungal problems. But drip irrigation keeps the foliage dry and focuses the water right at the base of the plant. It's especially perfect for vegetable gardens, raised beds, and even container gardens because you can place the water exactly where it's needed. And once everything is installed, watering your garden becomes one of the easiest parts of gardening. Now let's take a look at the basic supplies you'll need to get started. The good news is that most of these are inexpensive and easy to find at garden centers or online. And I'll even include a link to the supplies in the description box below. The first thing you'll need is a connection to your garden hose or outdoor spigot, because that's where the whole system begins. Next is the backflow preventer. This is a small but important piece that keeps water from flowing backwards into your home's water supply. After that comes the pressure regulator. Drip irrigation systems run on low pressure, so this piece makes sure that the water pressure isn't too strong for the tubing and emitters. Then you'll want to add a filter, which helps keep dirt or debris from clogging the tiny drip emitters. From there, the water flows into your mainline tubing, which is usually about a ½ inch thick, and it runs through your garden beds. Then to deliver the water directly to your plants, you'll either use drip emitters that you place next to each plant, or drip lines that have emitters built directly into the tubing. The drip emitters are better for shrubs and trees, and drip lines are better for smaller plants that you might have like in a raised bed, or you have a row of something. That's when you'll want to use drip line. You'll also need a few small accessories like connectors, tees, and end caps, and a hole punch tool to attach emitters to the tubing. And one thing I highly recommend adding is a simple hose timer. This allows you to automate watering so that your garden gets consistent moisture without you having to think about it. You can buy all these pieces individually, or you can start with a beginner drip irrigation kit that includes most of what you need. Before you start connecting tubing, it's really helpful to take a few minutes to plan the layout of your drip irrigation system. A little bit of planning now can save you a lot of time and frustration later. The first thing to consider is where your water source is located. So your drip system will begin at your outdoor spigot, so you'll want to think about how the mainline tubing is going to travel from that point into your garden beds. Next, look at the layout of your garden. So if you have raised beds, you'll typically run the mainline tubing along the edge of the beds and then branch smaller lines into each bed. For in-ground gardens with rows of vegetables, many gardeners like to run drip lines straight down the rows to each plant so it receives consistent moisture. Taking a few minutes to visualize where your tubing and emitters are going to go will make the installation process much smoother. Now that you have your layout planned, it's time to start assembling the whole drip irrigation system, starting at your water source. Everything begins at your outdoor spigot, and the order that you connect these pieces really matters. So the first is optional, but if you're using a hose timer, this is where you want to connect it. You want it to be first before you create the rest of the system. Next, you'll want to have your backflow preventer, then your pressure regulator, and then your filter. Once you have all these components connected, you'll attach your mainline tubing to the end of the setup. So typically, there is a piece that will allow you to connect the head assembly to the mainline tubing. So make sure you have that as well, because you can't just stick the mainline tubing right on the head assembly. At this point, your system is ready to carry water out into your garden beds. From here, we'll start running the tubing through the garden and set up the layout you planned earlier. Now it's time to run your mainline tubing through the garden. This tubing is what carries water from your spigot out to all your garden beds, so think of it as a main highway for your irrigation system. Start by unrolling the tubing and laying it along the path you planned earlier. If the tubing feels stiff, a helpful trick is to let it sit out in the sun for a few minutes. The warmth softens the plastic and makes it easier to work with. As you run the tubing through your garden, try to keep it as straight and tidy as possible. This makes the system easier to maintain and helps prevent kinks that could restrict water flow. If you need to split the line to reach different beds, you can use simple connectors like T's or elbows to branch the tubing in different directions. Once the tubing is in place, you can secure it to the ground using landscape staples. This helps keep everything neat and prevents the lines from shifting around. And to connect the drip line to the main line, you'll want to use what's called a barbed coupler and puncture a hole in the main line and then stick the barbed coupler into the drip line and then put it into the main line, if that makes sense. Once your emitters or drip lines are installed, there's just one more step before your system is ready to start watering. This final step of the installation is to cap the ends of your tubing and make sure everything is working properly. Use end caps to close off the tubing. This keeps the water pressure consistent and prevents leaks from the ends of your lines. Once the system is all capped off, turn on the water and watch carefully for any leaks. So when I did that here, I definitely found a leak and then I had to fix it. Check every connection, T, and emitter to make sure the water is flowing where it's supposed to. So before we wrap up, here are a few quick tips to make the most of your new drip irrigation system. One is to water in the early morning. This reduces evaporation. And then use a timer. Check your system regularly and flush the lines occasionally. I do it at least in the spring and the fall, so about twice a year, to make sure that my system is working well. If you found this video helpful, hit that subscribe button and like this video so that you don't miss more gardening tips. And let me know in the comments, do you prefer watering by hand or are you ready to make the switch to drip irrigation? And if you're looking for a written guide, I have one on my blog and I'll also link that in the description box below. Thanks for watching, guys, and happy gardening.